And the hands can rest on your thighs and the spine is lifted. And really feel those breaths. Take a deeper inhale. Maybe a longer exhale, some softness around eyes and jaw. Maybe your shoulders drop. And let's just acknowledge that we made it to practice, and a practice that's not just that physical practice, but a practice for the mind and the heart. Yeah, let's try and make it a nourishing practice. Sometimes there's a tendency to, push and then feel depleted afterwards. Let's see if we can make it a practice that nourishes us, makes us a bit more comforted. So still finding those deeper inhales and exhales. And taking a bit more space. So growing a little taller, widening those shoulders, widening that back body. So see if you can find a bit more space between your shoulder blades, between your ribs. And now some gentle movement for the neck. So take a breath in. And then just drop the chin to your chest. Exhale. And another breath in. And then your left ear goes towards the left shoulder. And breath in. And chin back to chest. Breath in. And then your right ear to your right shoulder. And breath in. And chin back to chest. And we'll do that one more time. So when you're ready, your left ear goes to your left shoulder. And then bring your right arm out to the side and walk your fingers away from you. You could keep them on the ground, just maybe making a bit more sensation, deeper stretch through the right side of your neck. Another breath in. And then as you return your chin to your chest, return that right hand to your thigh, and let's go to the other side. Your right ear to your right shoulder, and then your left hand can walk out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And then as you inhale, chin comes back to chest, hand comes back to the thigh, gently lifting your gaze, taking another breath. And then use your next inhale to reach those arms all the way overhead. And as you exhale, now bring hands to your heart. And finding that movement a couple more times, taking space, inhale. And then bringing it back to heart, exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And now keeping those hands at heart, spreading your elbows, pressing the palms against one another, fingers against each other. Take another full breath in. And full breath out. And then inhale, reach your arms all the way up. And on your exhale, lower your right hand down, come into a side stretch, reach up and over. Inhale, bring yourself back through center. And to your other side, exhale. And inhale, back through center. And now on your exhale, bring your right hand behind you, finding a twist, left hand crosses over. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Coming back through center, inhale. And then finding the other side, left hand behind you, right hand crosses over. And finding your twist, breathing in. And breathing out. And then as you inhale, bring yourself back through center, reach those arms high. And on your exhale, bring the hands in front of you, come into a table pose. Finding hands and knees, and now moving between some cows and cats. Using your inhale to bring your chest forward, your gaze up. And then as you exhale, rounding the spine. And then again, a few more times with your own breath. And maybe adding your feet to this. So as you inhale, tuck your toes. You're coming into that cow pose, stretching the soles of the feet. And then as you exhale, rounding the spine, tops of the feet to the mat. And a few more times, your own breath guides you. And then let's find a neutral spine, and let's move those hips from side to side, like making C shapes with that body. And you'll use the inhale to bring yourself through center, and your exhale drops the hips to the right. Maybe you're looking over to the left. And again, center, and then the other side. And just moving with your breath here. A couple more times each side. And then we'll meet back at center when you're ready. And from there, tuck your toes and let's go into downward facing dog. So sometimes from your table pose, it might be good to walk your hands slightly forward and then lift those knees and those hips. And then head dropping towards the ground. And taking a few breaths in your downward facing dog. And you might have been here before now, or this might be your first down dog today. So acknowledge what is there in your body. And acknowledge it with love and acceptance. So whether it's tightness through the backs of the legs or a little tiredness through shoulders. And then again, come back to that idea, practice to nourish you, not to deplete you. Let's take another breath in and a breath out. And then with your next inhale, let's walk those feet towards the hands and we'll meet in a forward fold at the top of the mat. We can grab opposite elbows here, dropping the head, allowing for some space in the neck. And you can always bend those knees here. Imagine those sit bones lifting up and the crown of the head dropping down. Take another breath. And then release those elbows and slowly, keeping your head heavy, arms heavy, we'll make our way up to stand. And once you get to your mountain pose, bring those shoulders up by your ears and then release them down the back. Turn your palms forward, reach the crown of the head high. Take a full breath in, acknowledge your body, your stance, your grounding, your breath. And then as you inhale, let's reach those arms up. And on the exhale, interlace your fingers, turn the palms towards the ceiling and get a little taller and a little longer. So press those palms away and then press your feet down into the ground. One more breath. And then use your exhale to lower your right hand down, coming into a side stretch. On your inhale, come back through center. And as you exhale to your other side. Inhale back through center. On your exhale, forward fold. Remember, bending the knees is always helpful. Halfway lift on your inhale. And then as you exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, downward facing dog. With your next inhale, come out into a plank pose. And then on your exhale, move back into downward facing dog. And do this 2 more times. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale and you move back. And inhale forward. And exhale back. And now with your next inhale, come forward into your plank pose. And then let's lower those knees. And those knees are going to lower behind the hips. So you've got a diagonal, more or less going from your knees to the top of your head. And now on your exhale, bend those elbows and lower chest to the ground. Inhale, come into a cobra, lifting that chest. Exhale and lower. And 2 more like that. Remember to engage your legs. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. And inhale, cobra. And now on your exhale, move through all 4s, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and breath out. With your next inhale, step your feet to your hands. And as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, make your way all the way up, arms wide and then overhead. And exhale, bring hands to heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, interlace those fingers. This time, awkward interlace, push the palms away. Get yourself a little taller, press down a bit more through your feet. Engage those glutes, those thighs, full breath in. And then on your exhale, left arm down, and let's come into a side stretch. Inhale back through center. And other side, exhale. Inhale, center. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant those hands, downward facing dog, exhale. Now as you inhale, come out into plank. And on your exhale, lower those knees and then lower your chest. Inhale, open up into cobra. And exhale through all 4s, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your feet forward. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise up, arms lift. Exhale, bring hands to heart. So sun salutations. So let's do a few like this. And again, remember that idea of making it nourishing, gentle to yourself. So when you're gentle to yourself, you might feel more gentle towards others and more capable of sending love, support to others. When you're ready, arms will lift. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands, downward facing dog. Inhale, come out into a plank. Exhale, lower your knees, lower your chest. Inhale, find your cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, all 4s, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your feet forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come out into plank. Exhale, knees, chest. Inhale, open cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, feet to your hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, open. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's do 3 more cycles. Let's do it with our own breath. And the next time that you find yourself in mountain pose, hands to heart, let's just pause for a moment. So maybe feeling a little warmth through the body. Maybe the breath got a bit more obvious or a little faster. And returning to that idea of a nourishing practice so that we can be there for others as well as ourselves. With your next inhale, arms will lift. And then as you exhale, left hand lower, side stretch. Inhale back through center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center. This time, send your right foot back. Come into a warrior 1. Feel both feet grounded and bring hands to your heart. And then as you inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Wrap your left hand around your right wrist and then pull your right wrist up and then over to your left. So strong legs here. You stay grounded through both, but you feel a stretch through the right side of the body. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And then bring yourself back through center, arms wide, and then bring them behind you, interlace them at your lower back. Take a full breath in here. And then on your exhale, reach your chest forward and down. And as you're reaching that crown of the head forward, reach your knuckles back. Strong legs, your hips stay stable. So sometimes that left hip will go forward. Try to draw it slightly back. And then draw your right hip forward slightly too. Breath in. And breath out. 1 more. And then as you inhale, rise up, release those hands, reach them all the way up. And on your exhale, let's find a gentle twist. So your right hand is going to cross over to your left thigh, and your left arm is going to reach out behind you. And then you might bring it or to your lower back or to that right thigh, the back of the right thigh. Okay, so take it gentle, don't go too far with this. Okay, your hips are still in that warrior 1 stance. Full breath in. and breath out. And then as you inhale, return through center. Both arms will lift. And on your exhale, bring your weight forward and see if you can balance on your left leg, keeping your right knee lifted. So the knee is bent. Imagine that you were planting your right foot on a step. Take another breath in. And we're finding another twist. So left hand now crosses to the outside of that right thigh. And now your right arm is going to reach back. Full breath in. And full breath out. And then as you inhale, return through center. Both arms will lift. And on your exhale, hands to your hips. Straighten that right leg out. Breath in. And then exhale, send that right foot to the outside of the left. So you're crossing legs here. Take an inhale to lengthen. And as you exhale, fold forward. Reach that chest forward and down. Release your hands. They might come to your shins or to the floor. Or if you have your block, maybe to the block. Let your head hang here. Breath in. And breath out. And another breath in. And breath out. And then as you inhale, let's rise all the way up. Reach your arms overhead. And on your exhale, lower those arms. Unwind your legs back into mountain pose, resting hands at heart. Pressing palms against one another, elbows moving away from one another. Take a breath in and a breath out. With your next inhale, your arms will lift. And as you exhale, right hand down, side stretch. Come back through center, inhale. And left hand down, other side. Back through center, inhale. And now it's your left foot that steps back and warrior one. Finding that grounding and that strength through your legs. And hands at heart. Pausing here for a moment. Take a breath in. And a breath out. And then as you inhale, reach those arms all the way up. And now your right hand wraps around your left wrist. And then pull that wrist up first. And then when you find a bit of a leaning towards your right. You might be feeling that stretch all the way from that left foot, up the left hip, ribs, armpit. Another breath in, breath out. And then as you inhale, come back through center. And on your exhale, bring those hands behind you. Interlace them this time the awkward way. And then straighten out those elbows. Reach your chest forward and down on the exhale. And as you find this pose here, you might be looking at your toes, front toes. Notice if they're gripping the floor, the mat, and see if you can soften them. Breath in. And breath out. And then as you inhale, rising up, reach those arms up. And we're going for that gentle twist now. So left hand crosses over to outside of the right thigh. And then your right arm can drop behind you. And feel free to bring it to the lower back. Doesn't have to come all the way to the left thigh. Breath in. And breath out. One more. And now inhale back through center, arms lift. Feel weight coming into that front foot, and then lighten up on the back foot coming up into that balancing pose. Left leg lifted, knees bent. Take another breath in, grow a little taller. And then your right hand crosses over, and we're finding a twist towards the left. Breathe in. And breathe out. And now inhale back through center, steady gaze here, steady breath. And on your exhale, hands to your hips and straighten that left leg. Take a full breath in. And exhale, cross that thigh over and foot plants to the outside of your right foot. Use your inhale to lengthen up. And as you exhale, flex at your hips and reach forward and down. Forward fold here, let go of those hands, maybe grab opposite elbows. Breath in and breath out. And again, breath in and breath out. And then inhale, rising all the way up, reach those arms overhead. And on your exhale, arms lower and legs unwind back into mountain pose, hands resting at heart. Take a full breath in for length and a full breath out to draw the belly towards your spine. As you inhale, arms wide and lift them overhead. And on your exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, downward facing dog. Inhale, come out into plank. Exhale, we'll lower down. Inhale for a cobra. And exhale back into downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale here. Now on your inhale, lift your heels. And on your exhale, drop your heels to the right. And inhale, lift those heels through center. And then drop them to your left. And now inhale back through center. And now bring your feet a little wider. And bring them a little closer to your hands. Okay, so maybe shoulder width or a little wider than shoulder width, outer edges of your mat. And you might feel that your heels now are planted. And then send a bit more weight into your heels. Lift your sit bones a little higher. And allow your head to drop towards the mat. And then find some movement through your neck. So look towards the left. And then to the right. And then again to the left. And to the right. And then as you inhale, look forward to your fingers. And on your exhale, look all the way to your belly. And then from here, walk your hands towards your feet. And then bring your heels in, toes out, and lower your sit bones towards the mat. So you're coming into a squat. And in this squat, you could keep your hands on the mat, or you could bring your hands to heart center, pushing the knees out and back, and finding a bit more lift through the spine. Make this squat your version of what you need today. And so if you need a bit more support or a bit more rounding in that back body, lower your hands and allow your head to drop. If you need a bit more lift, and a bit more opening through the hips, then lift that spine, hands to heart. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And one more, wherever you are, breath in and breath out. And then with your next inhale, let's plant those hands and let's lift those hips. And now align your heels with your toes, so your feet are pointing straight forward, and then find a forward fold. So allow your head to hang here, feet are still wide, you could grab opposite elbows, and then sway from side to side. So allow one knee to bend as your hips go to that side, and then switch. And do this a few more times, side to side. Bending and straightening the knees. And then bring yourself back through center And then release those elbows and walk your hands forward on your inhale and come all the way into a plank pose with those feet wide. Shoulders over wrists. Now take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, drop your heels to the right. You could stay here, or if you've got it in you, your left hand could reach up towards the ceiling. So side plank with your feet wide, so a bit more surface to balance on. And then as you exhale, lower that left hand back down, come through that plank, lifting those heels, and then do the same thing on the other side, heels towards your left, and then maybe, option only, your right arm reaches up towards the ceiling, finding a bit of space in your chest, lifting your hips a little higher. Breath in. And then as you exhale, coming back to your plank. This time, lower your knees. And now bring your feet or your toes to big toes to touch, knees wide, and come into a child's pose, lowering your sit bones to your heels and chest towards the ground. Head supported by the ground, by your arms, and breathe here. And then from your child's pose, we're going to thread the needle. So just lift that torso a little bit, and then bring your right arm under the left. Palm is facing up, and thread. Reach as far as you can, and then lower your right shoulder to the mat once again. Left arm reaching up, or overhead, or away from you, actually forward. And then see if you can feel that right shoulder blade getting a stretch. And then maybe left armpit, left side of your chest getting a stretch because that left arm is reaching forward. Head resting on the mat. And find 3 cycles of breath right here. And then with your next inhale, let's release. Bring that right arm out in front of you once again, and now we'll switch. So your left arm threads, palm is facing up, and then reach through those left fingers. And then when you can't reach any further, lower that shoulder to the mat. Rest the head on the mat and reach forward with your left hand. Another breath in and breath out. And then as you inhale, release, bring that left arm out in front of you. Once again, chest resting towards the mat. This time, bring the palms to touch, thumbs pointing up, and then bend your elbows and bring the thumbs to the back of your neck. And finding 3 breaths right here. And then bringing those hands back in front of you. Now walking those hands towards you and lifting your spine. And then from here, let's lift onto those knees. Let's shift those feet to the side and lower the sit bones onto the mat, bringing those feet out in front of you. So we'll keep those knees bent, the feet wide as the outer edges of the mat. And then let's bring those hands behind us. And those fingers are going to point away from us, or kind of a diagonal angle a bit. And then let's drop some let's push the floor away with those arms and let's open up the fronts of the shoulders here. And then when you've got that opening through the chest, see if you can bend your elbows and drop those elbows a bit. So drop some weight into those elbows. A little bit of a different stretch for that chest, for the fronts of the shoulders. Breath in and breath out. And one more inhale and exhale. And then let's straighten those elbows, lifting up, reaching your arms up, and then bring them between your feet, your legs, and then walk your fingers forward as you round your spine, reaching forward and down, dropping the head towards the ground. Full breath in and breath out. You could stay here, or if it's available and you feel like it, you could bring your arms under your legs and then wrap your hands, bringing them to the tops of your foot, fronts of your ankle. And then if you're doing that, you could push your elbows into the backs of the knees, helping those knees open up a bit more, and you'll get maybe a stretch through that upper back. Head still hanging, if that's comfortable. Breath in and breath out. And then with your next inhale, release. We'll come slowly up. And then we'll make our way onto our back, so you can bring those feet back to hip width. Plant your toes, bring those arms in front of you. Take a full breath in. And then exhale, come halfway down. Taking another breath in, see if you can find a bit more space in your chest. And then as you exhale, come all the way down onto your mat. And maybe take a breath in before you do anything else and let the exhale drop out of the mouth. Maybe there's a sigh of relief. That back body now is completely supported by the ground. And then let's bring those knees into the chest, one hand to each knee, and some gentle circles or any other movement that feels right at this moment. And then let's bring those knees back through center, and let's lift those legs towards the ceiling. So hands can support those legs if necessary, or you could have your hands at your belly or by your side. And then let's just find some gentle circles with those ankles. And not too much effort right now with those legs. So if you need to have a bend in those knees, have a gentle bend. You want to try and keep your back body grounded, so we're going for less effort and more ease right now. And if you're doing circles, find the opposite direction. And then let's find pointing of the toes, so get a stretch through the tops of the feet. And then as you exhale, flex, draw the toes towards the shin, push the heels away. And do that a couple more times. Point, and then flex, and then point, and flex. And then with your next inhale, bring that right knee in towards the chest and lengthen out your left leg. So reach out or through toes, or through ball of the foot, or through the heel. Make it active. Take another breath. And then on your exhale, lower that left heel to the ground. And then open up your right knee towards your right armpit. And you could stay here, heel towards the glute. Or if you can keep your knee where it's at, you could lift your heel towards the ceiling into a half happy baby. Using these exhales to press the lower back into the mat, to feel the support for the back body. And then if you've got that foot lifted, let's lower it. And then get your left hand onto that right knee and then gently draw that right knee across the body and all the way over to the left, coming into a twist. So your left sit bone glute will lift, or your right sit bone glute will lift off the mat. And you're on your left side. And then you can open up your right arm out into a T, palm facing up. And then once you are here, imagine working your belly button towards the ceiling. So kind of turning it up to face the ceiling. Breath in and breath out. And notice the position of your right shoulder blade. It's probably off the mat. That's fine, just notice that. And then as you inhale, bring yourself back through center. So you're coming again onto that back body. That right knee hugs in towards the chest one more time. Breath in. Breath out. And then as you inhale, draw your left knee in. And then find action through that right leg. So again, reaching through toes, ball of the foot or heel. Imagine pushing something away as you straighten that leg out. And then take a full breath in, allow it to hover for a moment. And then on your exhale, let that foot, that leg rest on the ground. And then your left knee is going to open up towards that left armpit. And go for that grounding through that back body, lower back. And stay here or take it to that half happy baby, lifting the foot if it works for you today. Breath in and breath out. And another breath in and breath out. If you can, emphasize your exhales at this moment. And then we'll go gently into that twist. So that heel lowers. And then your right hand can help that left knee cross over. And then move on to that right side of the body as that left knee goes over to the right. And then you could open your left arm out into a T. And as we brought awareness to the right shoulder blade, bring now awareness to the left. And this one might be closer or less closer to the ground than the right. There's differences between sides. Makes it interesting. Take another breath in. And breath out. And gently inhale, return to center. Give those knees a hug one more time. Maybe rock a bit from side to side. And then find the most comfortable position for your body at this moment. And in that position, bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. And allow those hands to be heavy. And allow that body to be supported by the ground underneath. And as you take care of yourself and treat yourself gently and in a sweet way, you're able to do that with those around you. And you're able to wish that for those that you don't see that often, that you might not even know. Pausing here, just for a few more moments. And then if your hands are still on your chest and belly, you might be able to bring a bit more awareness to your breath as you make it a bit deeper and a bit longer. And then use that breath to find again some movement back into that body, into fingers and toes, ankles and wrists, neck, maybe eyes, maybe taking a swallow. And then when you're ready, rolling onto one side, giving yourself here a breath in, a breath out. And then when you're ready, rising up, and we'll meet in a comfortable seat with hands resting at heart. Finding a lengthened, lifted spine. And then just taking a moment to acknowledge the practice. And then to acknowledge ourselves for today practicing. And then to acknowledge those that today practiced with us, but then all those that have practiced with us at any time, any point. Bringing all those to mind and keeping them in our hearts, present. And then we'll acknowledge all those that made it possible. And we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.